When solving radical equations, the first thing we need to do is get the root alone. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. That'll leave me with square root 2x minus 1 equals 9. Now, to get rid of a square root, we're going to use a second power. Square root and squaring cancel. We're left with 2x minus 1 is equal to 81. Now it's just a normal equation. Add 1 to both sides. 2x equals 82. Divide by 2. And x equals 41. Now, before we say that's all good and that's the right answer, you have to check for extraneous solutions. And what that's going to mean is taking that 41 and plugging it back into the original equation. So 2 times 41 minus 1, then minus 3 equals 6. And seeing if this is true. Well, start simplifying. 2 times 41 is 82. Square root of 81. Square root of 81 is 9. And 9 minus 3 is 6. So as soon as we can see that that's true, we go back and we say, yes, x equals 41 is our answer. Let's do it again, now with x equals square root of 6 minus x. First step is to get the root alone. In this case, that root is alone, so square both sides. And we'll get x squared is equal to, on the right side, the square root and the square, they cancel, 6 minus x. Now we're left with quadratic. We can't combine any like terms, so in order to solve a quadratic, it's first we got to get it equal to 0, so that's going to mean subtract 6 and add x. So over on this side, we're going to add x and subtract 6. In order to solve that, we're going to need to factor it. X plus 3, x minus 2. So we get x is equal to negative 3 and x is equal to positive 2. Once again, before we move on, go back and check your answers with the original problem. The original problem was x equals square root of 6 minus x. So first I'm going to plug in negative 3 everywhere that I see an x. And is negative 3 equal to the square root of 6 minus negative 3? Well, 6 minus negative 3 is 6 plus 3, which is 9. Square root of 9 is 3, not negative 3. So x equals negative 3 is not an answer. Now we can't just say that that means x equals 2 is an answer, because we might come into the situation where we don't end up with any answers. So we have to plug that in as well and see, is 2 equal to the square root of 6 minus 2? Well, 6 minus 2 is 4, square root of 4 is 2, so yes, x equals 2 is a solution. One more time, square root of x plus 1 equals x minus 1. Seems innocent enough, but go through your checklist, make sure you have the square root alone first, which in this case it is. Now get rid of it by squaring, and be careful when you square. On the left hand side, they do just cancel and we're left with x plus 1. But on the right hand side, x minus 1 squared is not x squared minus 1. What you have to do is look at that as x minus 1 times x minus 1, and then FOIL it out. When you do that, you'll get x squared minus 2x plus 1. Once again, we have a quadratic, so we want to get equal 0. That means I'm going to subtract x and subtract 1, so subtract x and subtract 1. 0 is equal to x squared minus 3x, and then these two cancel. Since it's quadratic, we want to factor it. I'm going to factor out an x. I'm left with x minus 3. So my two solutions are x equals 0 and x equals 3. Again, check them before moving on. Plug it back into the original. Square root of 0 plus 1, is that equal to 0 minus 1? Well, is the square root of 1 equal to negative 1? Nope. So that's not a solution. Now try it with 3. Is the square root of 3 plus 1 equal to 3 minus 1? Square root of 4 equals 2. Yes, that's true. So that is our solution.